February 13th, 2025, I was walking on the sidewalk to my car. A four-wheel ATV vehicle decided, while it was racing some other vehicles, to jump up on the sidewalk.
Someone who had arrived on the scene took Jack's cell phone and called me, saying that they were transporting him to the hospital. I could hear his voice in the background, so there wasn't anything that was particularly alarming.
They assumed that given his age and there was no clear external evidence of trauma, broken glass or anything like that, there was no witnesses, that he had an episode that we call syncope. Basically he passed out and hit his head. You don't get the size of the brain injury you get from passing out. This looked like it was like someone really forced his head to cause the injury.
What looked like to be a minor accident was actually much more major. After a day of care and assessment, I underwent emergency brain surgery.
He said, this is a life-saving operation. And he said, Jack's facial fractures as well as his skull fracture don't align with a fall.
He had injury to both sides of his brain, so we did a procedure to relieve the pressure on both sides of his head. The technical term is a bifrontal craniectomy, where we remove the skull on both parts of his forehead, if you will.
It wasn't until his surgery was completed and Dr. Felbaum came to us and said that the damage was very extensive and it was what he would typically see in a major car crash.
After that, we brought him up to the ICU. We then allowed the medications to wear off, and then we hope that his brain starts to wake up afterwards.
I met with the police and they walked me through all of the footage. I felt for myself that I needed to understand what had happened. So when you see it, it's jarring both from an emotional standpoint and a physical standpoint to see what happened and that an individual very deliberately ran him over and continued on without even a moment's pause.
So after the medically induced coma and the surgery, I finally awakened and found myself in a place that I wasn't familiar with. Not being able to walk, not being able to talk. There was a wonderful group of therapists here, speech and language, occupational, and physical, who worked with me over a month's time to get me back into shape. So by the time I was finally discharged and then back in our home, we kept on coming here almost on a daily basis to receive that care and love and support.
Every time I saw him in clinic and every time I saw his family members, I said he's by far way and above wherever I would have predicted for him. I always have to remind him. He's like, I just can't remember things as well. I was like, well, you really were unconscious for about a week and we weren't sure if you were going to live or not. And then it always brings them back into perspective, like, yeah, I guess I'm doing pretty good right now.
Looking back a year now, I'm just joyful and thankful and grateful that I had MedStar Washington so close to me here in Washington, D.C., because if it hadn't been there, I wouldn't be talking to you today.